era minta candle our ye or swafa or shegana yapumudin who ensem eso or they to just say His Excellency of the land John Dramani Mahama Asheno say one fa bill be enkopiemu ewo mrashe bedwafie na ni manimi ya no ensha se nye adwuma said ebe ya apomudin adwuma yefo a wo mo ewo Ghana hanom sei no wo mo ebetimi edisu na wo abebusu no ho asotwe ne de enya de a yede wo ho ebechewo. I'm sure say a lot of us would want to know say what is this bill about. Into on your screens no say President Mahama direct health minister to take bill imposing strict sanctions on health workers who refuse emergency care to Parliament. Kwabena Minta Kando, Minister of Health. Enti na chese ni nyina mu no ni nkyire mu nyina ene se mampani John Dramani Mahama echema yentebrin krata yenkeka niema mbom emfu ankopie mu amrahye bedwafie na enye apomudin adwuma yefo no omo adwuma ewukroma isanse ebinum ho no ma adwuma esese wo moye no. That is not what they are doing. Minya bema Chris ewa ha Chris ema akwa Banfamra Studios.
Yeah, major so.
Okay, so Honorable Minta Kando wabekasa mu se mampani amane directive of bill be was set wo mo ede court mrahye bedwafie. Can you throw more light on it for us?
Yes, by no bed syndrome, no, among most of the facilities, especially those that are government facilities, hospitals, no, yeah, they obi call for an emergency. The fact, and I say, in some way, I question, say, obi had an emergency. For about 24 hours, to me sustaining, I was here transferring it back into the main ward. Okay. But because of said beds and any honing, or more intimate movie or more, so emergency wards now will some way somehow become, I'm gonna say, main wards for some of the hospital facilities. Near just here, you'll be back fresh. Say emergency case, I want to me entry. Some of them will reject it. ABC, Emma, a branch, be a hit and run or free muya. The updates will bring now, but no afterwards now. Some of the health workers are no more Korle. Some of them were called to answer some questions near day. Now, President also at 2 months says, "See, health ministry anga sanfa bill bimra yemfa nko parliament nanka omumbobo ho na omum pass se de be ya ye de obi ba wo ho as an emergency case na say o reject ya ebetimi deal with you." And I mean that is the kind of update that the president the aba and a directive our president the aba to the health ministry.
Okay, international say busia ensem we wo ho eno no say based on no bed syndrome a ye dey rejected patients na ebinumo enam so ehwere wo mo enkwa no enenam so ama mampani esisa gina ye we say with immediate effect no yemfa bill no enkopie mu amrahye bedwafie. So assistance now ne de ye hwe ba bia bill yi eho abobo be kwakodro ene bra wo mo ebe passe ye be di akire na ye de humu enumu ensem de abremu. Now ye free health sector no eso na ye bo awre the Ghana Educational Service wo mo nso akache na ensem bia ba beto apono so abusia kamia say niema bia ne ye tete during the Kufuado led administration no ebi repeat ewo NDC Mahama administration we emu esanse enche ebia no we were talking about a scandal that involves Sami Jemfi ne some other people yesusu say contract in semia another contract issue pop up ewo internet ne so ayechemu say ukopie moji yes the contract amejumekuo bi say wo mo en supply marker board white board friend is saying marker no teachers for church for the children no wo mo supply no ye chire mu a price no for the quantity no ene ebo na eda so na chese nipa no wo ya faade no dufu no wadiga ne sika keke sebe ye dwe hwa ne ye pense mu a ye tiase enye ye education screen is away fi ya omafo edu eho o say Ghana Education Service has given a contract to a company to supply 450,000 whiteboard markers at 30 Ghana cedis per unit. Nti ekikabo mu a na chese 13,005,000 Ghana cedis. Whiteboard markers that are being sold 5 Ghana cedis at retail and 3.5, that is 3 cedi 50 pesos at wholesale thieves. Enti asemo a aba enunie enti wo hwe nsemo a eye ya omafo edu ade abeto dwan dia na o chemu se the contract no amedwumekuo bi na edwumekuo no sebe maka anase markers a omode tro whiteboard no so no ye ton 5 cedis wo dwaman so na okọ kra se okofa no gbefu bebrebe a ye tom ye de betimi de ba akoma 3 cedi 50 pesos enti eba ne sen na ba akose mo ton 30 Ghana cedis because ye de amam contract. Now or say to avoid doubt ibinum ka se bia ono na apɛ ne ho asɛm na wakɔtwɔtwɔ e de ato ne Twitter handle wana say ne X handle no. This is proof of it. Intuition screens so where a document free the government of the Republic of Ghana Education Service headquarters oba sia or say read that is it, it's a respond into supply of 450,000 whiteboard marker. Sub notification of contract award. Into 1 reference is being made to the bid document submitted by 15th September 2025 for the above captioned matter. Kindly be informed that the Ghana Education Service Headquarters Public Procurement Authority on 30th September 2025 approved award of the contract for supply of 450,000 whiteboard marker, VAT inclusive, as follows. Name of supplier Rex Not Enterprise whiteboard markers. 2 into share amount na no ene wo ho na ye 13 million 5,000 Ghana cedis na che say we share nsem na ekone dia de patching say ye bu asem ni bi e de agumum. Now we share nsem mo aba beto dwa na Chris, is this document genuine in the first place? Is this document genuine?
Well, as I was looking at it, I was some way somehow kind of doubting it, but then per the reports Ebano indicates they are giving this kind of contract to a company to supply whiteboard markers to Ghana Education Service. Okay. But then said Odiga kind some way somehow I doubt this documents. But then if it is indeed true, supply of 450 whiteboard marker whiteboard marker and to be 3 cedis per one. Nti sa 30 cedis no more cano. I don't know say or more air turn in boxes and I say maybe probably be a 10 and I had 3 cedis 30 per box there. Okay. Per what we have on the screens is not really giving a vivid description of the quantity as in say a box and now say a single unit say ba pay 30 Ghana cedis by per what we read on Twitter no shows say the man is talking about the fact that they are procuring one unit to say ba say for 30 Ghana cedis. Let's just say do you understand? Meaning say be a procurement, some of these kind of procurement in the money prices no was stroke a credit there, but to hit 30 Ghana cedis from even if it is 5 cedis to 30 cedis because me yesterday I bought some, it was 3 cedis. I bought 3 of them and I gave the person 10 cedis or my sister 1 cedi. Okay. And say no crisis sana the kind of procurement with the kind of proof that we have on the screens, backing what the person is saying on Twitter and say no crash. Then it means Charlie 13.5 million Ghana cedis or just for marker, 1 million cedis or 13 million Ghana cedis just for whiteboard marker. You did tray board. So now you say I know okay.
Okay, yeah. But how has the reaction been so far on the internet based on this document?
Well, so some people were trying to explain the fact say and some other people also omubuefu because omuhu say aban bi aba so ekwan a omubefa so omubetimi de enye ska enkoye say o ye through some of these procurements company obekom na ye ebia Ghana Education Service. And as a Ghana, I can say Ministry of Education or Mumhuni Pebi near the contracts and man because a buying back Obia try to create a company. Some of them don't even have an office. It's just the company name and the documents that they have. Now, almost their quality contracts near day. But because we hear this amount out just for market so some people feel say they are thieves. Ebi mo say oh, must start say through a procurement processes near day. And ebi mo so says some way somehow there should be a justification to the kind of amount I just stating. You know the people. The opposition will start talking about the fact that hey, any day. Then on the other side, there's also will be talking about the fact that trying to explain Niema Ekosono. Do you understand? So I mean, I mean, there are people on the side of the ruling party, other people on the side of the opposition.
Okay, Ebusia, so I could say a mixed conversation over internet and so because me know can say there some of their sessions said this is too much and a probe has to be made into it. Say no credit and something has to be done. Mampeni has to act ASAP because some say you are recovering all loot there, then you don't have to loot yourself. And share how the response from the Minister for Education with regards to this particular contract issue Ababeto Montaigne so. Now, moving on to other issues, no, there've been an arrest Akoso Ewo Tema and Montaigne so. Ubeka say a lot is happening in Tema. Yes, a lot is happening. And Rantemi and Saya Eda screens so is a brady Umakoka Ghana police for Ensa. I'm sure most of us will be wondering Bonia Wumwedi na Ninino Efa fraudulent bank withdrawal bia or more aquaque home. Chris has more issues on that, more details on that for us.
Yes, Rantemi is also when in pa I think so as a more busian for Honti Prince Bodu Emmanuel J. Opoku and Eric Usu and this year buying Ensa Como and as a police for Ensa Como and it's a fraudulent bank withdrawals.
Okay.
Mom's accounts be that the accounts can be located at Kaswa. Probably it is a banker. The account was created in Kaswa.
Okay.
And to the tune of about 20,000 plus sika free. Many say account holder no tiremu or the sika 20,000 plus and a tone account num to 20,300 and something and or the tone account num. But at the chain no okohwe no na withdrawal be akoso to the tune of 20,144 Ghana cedis 6 pesos. Enti ano no odwene ho ana onte ase no say ade die ene man no ekọ report ye okọ bank for no so confirm ye say sa sika botin we free na account no mu e de akọ a different account mu e wo honom. Enti ano ena ma police for a trace ye nipa account no, I mean account no, the location of nipa na account no eye ne dia no omo trace ye omo share omo ko hu omo tema eye emrante amiensen say dem di kan hwe omo anim asa abusuan ba ko bi emma ene yakwakochi omo yes our Prince Bodu Emmanuel J. Opoku ene Eric Usu ne yensa aka omo e wo honom. Okay,
ebusia, so about this issue no na chese esi somewhere last year 2025 October November new emu na the account holder no realizes say ya twi ne sika ni bi e de free ni account mu a obo ne homodene call J complain won the bank and the bank for no share na chese krono dia a police for di mu a ko hunu say san ye mrantie e no mutaye che. Now Prince Bodu wedi mfinhia eduonu nsia 26 years Emmanuel J enso di 26 years Eric Owusu nso di 23 years, so you could see how young they are. Womo ebo sabra nti wo share the screenshot on your screens. I'll say Prince Bodu Emmanuel J. Opoku and Eric Owusu have been arrested in Tema over 20,144.06 pesos fraudulent bank withdrawal from a Kaswa account. Items retrieved during investigations include mobile phones, multiple SIM cards, SIM cards no, MTN wom, Airtel wom, Tigo wom, Telecel su wom, laptops, routers, and other computer equipment. Intiniamo majeje krache say we mono omadwumadi omudia no. They are on and about, always coming and skimming through the internet looking for who to steal from enti we de omuti anye ye after 2025 omuko wia sikabuti na etisa no a police for duaduamu a na afa de omo ensa aso omu mu asabre ye de omo ebekwa akogina court adakemu na ye di omo asem 26 and 23 year accordingly and asabre de omo di omo ho akɔhye enipa bonefo sem ene atutra sem a etise emu enti me ne ka say de emrante miensen tema na eye Ghana police for ekwache omo a sabre de ye de omo ebekwa akogina court na che say the cyber crime is right now extending to our Ghanaian youth. They are also trying to learn this from the Nigerians. I don't know.
You remember last week here the updates by the cybercrime unit or more making arrest of some Nigerians now so they buy when they come to Ghana they do recruitment.
Okay.
Omuanga sanko from the move free Nigeria they be PM Ghana ha ebi mo so Ghana ha ni ankasa no ma recruit you nti adwuma no wankasa wo yedru baby na hu say mehu so kakra na why den wate wo ho nti some of these things no enema yehu sa niema we yehu niema we say ebi we're also talking about the fact that sometimes there are some phishing emails that people receive. Almost they don't do any proud check, they don't do any verification as to say message no almost come from especially their banks. Maybe our bank, message bet me about through an email. If you say, this one they genuine is from my bank. And the obi hormone check they will start just clicking on links on way so near to the extent say some of them will even receive phone calls after clicking on the links.
Okay.
And those phishing emails and some of these things AC because before you realize you have sent your bank account, your PIN to ABS or mobile app they operate and I say some of them USSD. There are some passwords are they authenticate transactions near them. But before you realize you have sent all your details to some of these people, which makes their transactions very easy. Do you understand? And some of them too, their transactions are not up to this tune. Ebi o ha bon say 1 cedi, 2 cedis, 3 cedis are free. So, but any nipa ba akopɛ no mo just 2 cedis, 3 cedis na free omo ho. And some of these things needs to be checked. Email you have to check and see say genuine from your bank.
Okay, ebusia yemfri nsem we eso na yenkopie mu ewo ensem foforo emu a enche update a yede bae na ye kasa e de afa Ministry of Health yera minta candle ensem bia wode abetudwa about mampani ni ginesie na yenua bema boso about no bed syndrome yensa kan very alarming video we share screens so etwego would go and take a full glance at the video but then the akoso ni nyina NSS abrede okopie mu ewo Korle teaching hospital allegedly yechemu say esanse mampani ama order say mamo entene away any sick patients bi obeba na any emergency case ebante say unkofo edida form ewayare sabia honoma akosi a whole lot of conversation yehwe video nimra na yendi ho nkomo. Abusia video ye ko share no an alleged video ye chemu se bia ye honom Korle teaching hospital na de wo mu ene se ayaresafo na se ayarefo a akopie mu ewo hospital honom no bebre na enyampa ena so entie form no moda ye render treatment de ama wo mu a akose a whole lot of conversation. What is happening, Chris? Then ekoso what are people saying based on this video trending?
Yes, Korle teaching hospital allegedly video honum na according to staff no mo hono said the medical kind talking about no bed syndrome no omo ayede omo ba emergency ni nyina most of them we say na omo chire mu a omo ayede omo eba anwumre no. Okay. Because obeba no most of the beds are occupied and before you realize no nipa no muntimi nsan fa ne nko back any ade and as I say so per the directives by say you don't have to reject an emergency case. because say our so betimi yes there are people as say omo da so gina baby a betimi aka say omo aso ayehye because ye bi say omo nsam say ye den na mo reject obi e ma ni ko free mu e wo honom e say say obi a ye de ne beba bia anya me na me kwa akoka say mo mfa no nko baby foforo e bia mo mfa no nko rage and as mo mfa no nko UGMC and as mo mfa no nko a different facility oba ye be make sure say ye be jo obi o ha mo be ma na tena say but some of the conditions they can't sit, they can't stand. So before you realize, some of these alarming pictures are here, video are here, share, ebi mu edida from no, na ebi AC. And this is here, ebi mu hune says, sa directive by ye, any almost so as you see, almost no, a can be as a case be at the moment I will be rahopeno. They have to make sure so on bepe kwan bisu no majo. And the eba beto abonten say mona mo se yenji o mo se a bed ni ho. Nti o mo na da from no mo pe kwan eba so I be treat you.
Okay, so that is it about a video I share you know. Now, the health minister Raminta Akando ono nso aba bekasa wode etudwa se sabre no wo mu egusu a wo mu project kese pa ewo bema campa ebeye an emergency center na ebeboa ewo ayarehwe ejuma no emu wato ne mutu akasa de afasa asemwe ho a yenyina yebegebre na ye aso atie ne nsem a wode etudwa ye ba enchiche mu bi ewo mu bia no ye de bema mu yenhwe video ni mbra.
That was set up to look into child ministers. Do we have enough?
Which starts with the no best.
Yes.
Yeah. So I knew we were going to do that. You're going to divert their attention. That is expected. Yes. As you all know, I constituted a 3-member committee that was headed by Professor Bedu Akosa. And at a point in time, I had to expand or increase the number of days they were sitting. We are almost done. But I asked them to take their time because it is going to effect a lot of changes in the system, and we are using this opportunity to solve the problem once and for all. Maybe I can highlight some of them to you. This particular problem you heard of, there's no proper coordination. You understand? That is what is bringing the spillage. So now we want to create what we call a command center. We are using IT technology, and that will take us some time. It doesn't mean that when I say it today, tomorrow you come and ask me, you said you are creating an IT center, where is the IT center? So it takes some time. This is what we have come to inherit. This is the situation. We don't have to lament, we have to solve the problem. Sorry. So that is the first approach. IT, we have commanders at all the teaching. We are going to pilot with the regional and the teaching hospitals. So when even the ambulance people pick you and then they put you in the system, they will direct you where to go. So it's something we are establishing. They are doing the procurement. They are pasting barcodes on all the beds. So even when I stay in my office, I know the number of beds at Korle. When there is an emergency and the person is on the bed for more than 24 hours, I know that the person. So it's one of the. We are coming up with about 4 approaches. So the other one is also to get another emergency center. That center is purely emergency. So for example, we have a place around Bema Camp. They take you there, they stabilize you, they move you out of the place to another center. So it's another approach. That makes the second one. The third one, we are going back to Parliament. His Excellency has directed us to go to Parliament to pass a bill into an act that will make out severe sanction to any health professional who turn away emergency. So we are doing that. There's another 4 I don't want to put out there that we are working on. And so we are thinking broadly to make sure we find a solution to this particular matter. But did not finish their report and wanted to take their time. Very soon we'll put it out there.
Honorable, on the other side, the medical
has been published.
Yes.
You were all there, and so all the recommendations. I think my deputy, I've charged my deputy to look at the implementation of the recommendations. And this one too, when they finish, I'll put somebody in charge to look at the full implementation. Usually we bring reports and recommendations are given and it's not executed. This time I know. Any report that is brought, somebody is assigned to it to see the full implementation of the recommendations. So in that medical collaboration, the reports were put out there, you ask questions, those who are supposed to be sanctioned have been sanctioned, and it's going to go beyond just interdiction. It's going to go beyond just interdiction. We are going to further investigate certain issues. If there's a need for somebody to, vacate posts, why not? Because this is about the lives of the people. So that you see, in any sector where there is no discipline, nobody must feel that I am untouchable. No. There must be discipline in the sector. When you come to work, you shouldn't stay on your phone, and when there is emergency, you behave as though you've not heard. No. We know that, look, I'm the first person to acknowledge the kind of sacrifices they are making. But hey, we have to do our work. So we are not joking. We are not sleeping. We are doing our best. Thank you very much.
Abusia Minister for Health Honorable Minta Akando and Ikuti Nsemwana wode to Jana say from what he is saying no nina see measures our more try said they will put in place for this no bed syndrome if I'm right.
Yes, currently, not just they all they are trying to put in some measures that they will be able to curb some of these no bed syndrome and as emergency cases. I'm not sure what he said was really trying to curb no bed syndrome and kind of stuff, but then the emergency cases that is overwhelming our hospital facilities. No, I don't know what to say. Baby, as your master started creating who you must baby or Bema camp now with some kind of IT response units beyond here. So some of these cases will be transferred there because can basically within 24 hours I would say a stabilizer now you move you. The emergency should just be a transit for to a ward and see on way making sure that those places will be equipped. But then other people were talking about the fact say they should make sure said they will equip some of these hospitals because say mubetimi akosi baby sa ho a Korle ho and some of these facilities. You should find ways to expand the emergency, facilities.
Okay.
Now, mobile making sure some of the wards because if you wards honoma and but because yes, the will be emergency. Now, you finding cold water. Still, now the place will be choked.
Okay.
Until they should find basic ways. I'll make me a the no bed syndrome itself.
Okay.
Because ukosi baby still now that place too will start getting choked then yeah.
Okay. So ebusian for that is it. Now in view of that no the minister wakopiemu ewo Korle Bu teaching hospital after videos be started say go about a man for that form ni ade no wakopiemu wo ho na emu ama ne bone de nsem bebre yenjebre na yentie de course so Korle Bu ye bai beto so.
Some of them will be discharged early. Others also have some extended bit of stay. Yes. So we take 14 patients here. Currently the place is full, bed 2 you realize empty because the patient is gone for dialysis.
So you come back.
Ideally, these are patients that should have been on the wards.
Okay.
Because they've been here for more than 24 hours.
Okay.
The real time for patients to be even in the emergency is that within 6 hours, every patient should be stabilized and then moved to the definitive care area. And sometimes we have challenges with the ward, and there's no space.
Yes.
So we keep them here. We keep them here.
Okay.
So this morning we have a bed management team.
Good.
They've gone around and then they've come back. Our main problem is with internal medicine because they take about 70 to 80% of our emergency beds.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's why we have secured more
Beds. Okay.
so that the patient can be
So
moved
you
there.
see, yes, we will summarize. Maybe we have to engage it because after this, we have behind the scene conversations.
Yes, please.
But you see, it is always better to discharge the person from here and get a spillover at the ward than keep them on the bed at the emergency.
Yes, please.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Actually,
So
that's why we are
we must always try. Once the person is especially more than 24 hours, the person must not be here.
Great.
Do you understand?
Yes, please.
So no matter what, at least we must have a space.
That's why we are great.
So that we will not turn people away. So we'll have the rest of the conversation about expansion and other. Today, I think I've asked that they should bring you some trolleys.
Okay,
Yes, I've asked that they should bring you some trolleys. So we'll have those detailed conversations.
Yes,
we'll do our best. But under the circumstances, please let's try.
Yes, please.
Because you see, when these videos started coming out, some of the interpretation was that it is because we have given the order that we should not turn people away. That's why you are throwing it on our face. Okay, if you say we should not turn people away, they are on the ground. You know, but I hope it's not so.
No, it's not so.
Let's try to do our best.
So what happens is that, in fact, we get patients referred from other facilities without them informing us prior to it. And then when they come, we don't turn them away. So we try that we need to do something. Now, some of them are so unstable to sit in chairs.
Yeah.
But that's the only option we have because the whole place is full. And it happens mostly in the night that they stay longer. And then before you realize, they are lying on the floor.
Okay.
And then when we come in the morning, we try to decongest them. And then you come the next day, it's the same story. That
You know, this day, the social media is something else.
Yes.
So let's be very careful. Whatever happens, you know, even in your bedroom, you have to be careful.
Yeah.
You don't know when it will get out there. So let's do our best. I know you guys are working under extreme pressure, but we acknowledge whatever you are doing. So let's do more. We will put a lot of measures. This year, we are coming to even put up the maternity block. Yes, I mean, I've discussed with Mr. President. Mr. President has given clear directives that with immediate effect, we have to come and put that in the building. Yes. So and I've asked your CEO to have a plan. We want to transform the whole place.
Thank you very much.
And so the expansions and renovations, as and when you need what, we brought you some anesthesia machines, right? So we'll do our best. As and when there are problems, you shouldn't get out there before I get to know.
Yes, please.
Let me know. Let's talk and see how we can handle it. And then, so sorry for bringing you back to work on holiday.
Oh, no, it's our responsibility.
Thank you very much. I'm in your hand.
Abusia, the Honorable Minister for Health, and you can say Kolibu addressing 1 or 2 issues about a year. Patients I do more to family are they all in the name of the president's directive and I this so yes my yem sake or mundi and ye form no more bedania de no or mumbo homodin. But then there was a year in Chimwa a free penny for by which says some referral cases from other hospitals be or honoma e ba omoa omunya prior notice omehuanes ambulance na be so ring as to whether they have space to contain them or not no near the omo ayeden aba and no. And I just say, sometimes, the place really gets congested. Any idea? Now, I'll share screens. So I say, viral video of patients receiving treatment on the floor at Korle Teaching Hospital. The footage is authentic. When the surge in patients exhausted, all available beds, chairs were provided. When those chairs were also exhausted, patients had no option but to receive care on the floor. Emergency medicine residents of Korle Teaching Hospital. Not say prior to the conversation, no na man for bichu said the video was AI generated and no cray any idea. But apparently omuchuma no crebi ewumu. So this is a release from the emergency medicine residents respond to Korle Teaching Hospital management on the recent accident and emergency crisis. It was for immediate release. We, the emergency medicine residents of Korle Teaching Hospital, respond to management's news release on 21st March 2026. We write to ensure the public can record accurate reflects that conditions under which care is being delivered and systematic failures that made them inevitable. The floor incident setting the record straight. The video footage is authentic. When the surge in patients exhausted, all available beds, chairs were provided. When those chairs were also exhausted, patients had no option but to receive care on the floor. The sequence was witnessed by every member of our clinical team, characterizing this documentation as AI generated or media slander is factually inaccurate and an affront to both patients and staff. Into Omuchema video no no kre de tie say nkofo ni bufa so ayarefo ni bufa so ma chese na empa na yema ebinum nkonwa ne yema intina chese ba bi eduro ne de age se ebinum da form na ye hwe wo mu inti de kokoko viral say AI no enye no kre esi ya na sebe edwumayefo ni bi eni tuemu ayarefo no nso ebi eni tuemu ti wei enye AI or 200 beds are not enough. The procurement of 200 beds while noted does not address the crisis. Beds without functional oxygen point, airway equipment, monitoring tools, adequate floor space and sufficient nursing and physician staffing ratios do not improve care. They congest an already overwhelmed space. A comprehensive resource solution is required, not headline figures. Into Muchema, say Musimode a year and Pabaku 200, aha, mienu, banede, enye, and Pamode ba sebe, ye pe oxygen, baby a bit to me oxygen, afa, ye bit to me machines near dear SCC Sinkofoswa, yen to me enye dear, and Faswobia any Suesa crana, na ama a jumana a ding, a chain, the oho dadana, a fe, a nipano e bufaso sa. Sebe semu be chocho niema de abeto monten so amagana fo jimwedinum enye no ena wo mu ehia ne sesei o say national crisis not a Korle Teaching Hospital problem enti o mu chema we ye Ghana man ni nyina ye haw enye Korle fo nko a haw. So this crisis is a symptom of a fractured national emergency response system driven by dysfunctional referral pathways. Patients are dumped at tertiary centers because primary and secondary facilities cannot hold them. Into muchema adeba ko ema ne basa ne say empempi no ayaresabia nkuma no omuhwe na say cases bi ba omo ho no muntimi nso ano a na afi wo mapia e de akọ kese animu Korle nso eden e ka ho bi o say absent pre-hospital coordination. Patients arrive critically ill with no advance notice or no basic interventions initiated. To much me pay do a home dinko for ayare for ne bebano. Ye more amanye ka yenim no bia wodi obi fi himfa polyclinic kolebua. Mobe free ma kolebu for ya we o patient we na ye no enti ambulance dam kwanso but omo nti bibia sa ombe hu ane se ye do omo aba begu. See no national bed tracking system, making real-time patient redistribution impossible. And tinke wo way system bi wo hono ma wo hwe mu abehu so bia 37 or more empa be miense bi wo ho nti wo transfer nkofo ho menye ba bia da e bia rich empa be 6 bi wo ho wo transfer nanso bi system bia ne wono ma eboa wo mo e wo sa kwan no eso nti se ye de nipa ne kwa yen hwe se empa wo na se empa eni ho no ebi eno no. So we do not call for more beds in hallways. We call for a strengthening national healthcare grid. We urge management and the Ministry of Health to move past PR-focused responses and commit to a transparent and systemic reform. The evidence is real, the crisis is real, and the response must be equally real. Emergency medicine residents Accra. Into much man na say mo betwe blogger said mo chi de camera sisi mo anim no makasa bebre yen kombra say ne ye ne eno emwa moma yen nye bribi a ebededi ama yen hu say no kre aban no any Ministry of Health no abo mo modern so be bibi dia fa ensem no. Other than that, the issue won't be solved. Now yen free ensem way so abusiafo na yen ko eye ensem foforo eso dia sabreya mene wo ka say there is morning mechanic say esu kese pa na ekoso ewo internet no so a we screens no so a. This is a very beautiful lady and a branche ya wo kan we na branche bebre na enim no as last hero a friend Mr. Ampra na de abeto dwa ene say nansenya ene hu say information bi koso ewo internet no so a ye chemu say eye ne yere efrimu na abeye hu de ensem bebre abeto dwa so we've gotten some of the internet sensationalists sending their grievances and condolences to him. This one's a branch chema chese wo bone hu modene pa ewo internet no so the videos, the jokes and all that last year. So unfortunately na yere efrimu now ene wonu akasa ba be kasa achichirimu efa de see ya and I'm so Emma na yere enkati asefo asase ho ebiem ye be kwa kwagintirimu no e de efri wonu akasa ehonom abusia ye ba ye be pensem ni mu adomusuko yenko na nkutie ne mbra
na why feel no yare ana
okay
ya no the mic na kwa no
okay ya wutu
mene na wutu
oba mene na wutu ti ono na last born na okowo ye no ti so okowo ye no omo kan se asen pressure na ekosoro ba ono ofa ne no ma ti on se pressure se ekosoro biblia mo na itimi ko kidney no ti no ko kan kidney na se afi e so ko dialysis so.
Wow.
To that's so cobe 1.5 years.
Hey.
So you are able to make a video no pa bana. And you may cost me more pa easy.
Wow.
That's so be 1.5 year. Just say. Last hour day na obe uno. Wakwaba. No pa nkame be me ko fano ne na kwa so libikura. Ni se utwahwe no an.
Wow. Na se owo wani mana.
I know they na me o.
Okay.
Ni nua be mana na e won to frɛ me say aso okobae no aso abebu ahwe ntom de na hospital. Timi duro okura na ese. So dialysis so ko da machine so a ya na nye easy. Ti obedru fie kura ni nua ne so sresre ni ade. Ti I say instant no we trash.
Wow.
Say easy.
Already aminya kafra.
Abusia maneboa efri last hero eho eba no na chese ne yere for some time now no ne ho adodo no pa beye mfinhia baako ene fanie de dialysis so ena woda se befofia ntoata wokoba one day pe no obetwa hwe ya wode atwa nananom ewonsie. I'm sure a lot of people will be wondering who last hero is. Chris, brief us, last hero, who is he?
Well, last year, one TikToker who Kumase or ne Asaf Powers ne started here.
Okay.
Now omoye videos any idea they went viral. Kumase honoma. Due to some 1 or 2 issues being say you bet you some montamati say Mr. Ampra and as last year ojina ne baby nko and Asaf Powers and so ejina ne baby nko mu na ye omodwuma separately and first ne bio. Now recently na you who say you got the answer that say obi say every all of a sudden you be say ye bi akoso ama I mean or tini so ne ade baby abehu ni bia na I say ye na se baby na or tini so na you know say bloggers ne do na omo so edi nachi e wo hono mo a eyare hosem na talking about the fact say obi a one na wutu ono ne baby mama a one na wutu na after say okowo omo last born otoso mienu no Nema bi say etoto ne wo hono na akwakoye arehosem. This guy he's really doing well. Metimi aka say after say impo ote ne hono still na he's really doing well. Ewo yes skit making no mo ewo kumase a arehosem say akwakoto no. Oka ba bi say ultra videos ni nyina na nema ono agasa ofem no with any baby mama no na nipa dodo na enim so the cry behind the laughter and no all try na watch mu ewo ehonum e dey so it is quite unfortunate say wetimi ahwe nipa say yanka fe kra na otim say omo ebe shebra na say aboni ye in as much as despite some awutu no afi ne kon be shebra na say aboni ye asem say ato no wo hono.
Okay, so nin crofo a woni omo etwa skit ne any ade no how has their reaction been abra obe or this revelation we beto ja because onipa ye ni adwuma wo sere de na sana bibi ekoso won cabinet mu de how are they taking it?
Well, you could see sir in most of the videos babonten no na omo oni omo ye adwuma dodo na won nchen because omo te say ye say na abanti dodo na no omo won nchen but then they were talking about the fact say ono angasa ni din last hero no say enna ne so kwa. You understand? Sometimes hero omo ye hero no they come out to do certain things to support other people to create laughter in the faces of other people. Meanwhile deep down no omo so near be ha omo you can't really you can't get to know unless they come out and then tell you. A lot of people were commending him, say in as much as Nema we know of him still now he was trying to make other people laugh. Onwanga trying to make something for one who and the wife as say were free. Yes, some people were very shocked with the revelation, but then others too were trying some better training right now or more making sure said they done him the door so wait me him na wa him.
Okay, ebusia na that is the sad news I hate a TikToker last hero ene akofa sansem we nyina aba ensem foforo mu no na say ni e deport in Nigeria for every Ghana because of cybercrime, prostitution, any ade. And then shocking news about beto dwane chire mu a chese ya Ghana fo bi no mu akwakopie mu e wo Nigeria sabre de if it is not the timely intervention I dey rescue wo mu a enka sabre de wo mu abrabo asei e wo Nigeria meka enipa bako eduanan and 944 Ghanaians and sabre de ya rescue wo mu e dey free Nigeria and I'm sure say you be wondering say dey enko anom koye wo Nigeria honoma they needed to be rescued. Was it a kidnap? Was it a friend saying who said like how did this happen and how did these Ghanaians end up in Nigeria?
You know, said by unemployment so near day. A lot of people too also have the dream of traveling. And she almost timbia na amount for data almost obra, yebemo juma, yebemo to quine a day. And she almost appear more not just acquired to say sa normal sa mengana say schema na amount for ye say oh for scabra or discaba. So basically a kill net.
Okay.
Amount for aboso kill net to men for whom kweshemo ne adi enu ebi ena ekoswa ye do ko yenyan di wo pie mu ho pe na ye seize freedom afi hunsem and the kind of ensem omo kato mu trimu no panyini pa utimi say wa head big institutions na wa adwuna kwete say akora before you realize you'll be bringing your family members or ma teams or kasa o mubeti no na de omu nyina akọ the kind of maltreatment I do omu efa so ne agoro bi omu di wo ho no Charlie is very sad. Ain't promise of work abroad and a promise of travel and omu nyina akopie mu ho Cote d'Ivoire say bi wo ho even Ghana has yankasa there are some bases some people are being captured.
Okay, so na chese nchemu a efri ensem ni mu eba eno no. Now there is a release ye dey ebe to screens ne so dey amount. Now Osha na chese is a whole lot of issues and so this is coming from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It says 44 Ghanaians rescued from Nigeria, Accra 21st March 2026. Further to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs announcement of 13th March 2026 cautioning the public against activities of killnet and similar schemes. 44 Ghanaian nationals have been rescued from a fraudulent recruitment network in Nigeria. Into Muchema, Ghana for bako 44, Adriana N9 and Asabri, Motimi Aji or more, Nigeria, and Nam, killnet, yeah, and send some way, and now say. Affected individuals were lured through deceptive means, including social media and informal recruitment channels, with false promises of employment and travel opportunities. Upon arrival, they were subjected to exploitative conditions, including restricted movement, psychological coercion, and pressure to recruit others into the scheme. Entuchema uhwe ensema omo pache ne dia na eye kwan bia omo fa so dada womo ede omo ekowure mu wo ho be bia sabe omo tumi efa ye na social media eya be fo mfinity tan su ya na ai bia me amede mano minima adwuma bi o obetumi abeye bi na afa womo hye ebinum nso bo se ye de mo kọ ne akoma mo adwuma ebi won nso etimi kire ne se ye de wutu kwan akọ eye ebia ekurowe so but e wo se ye de wo fa Nigeria nsa na ye de wa ye dem akwa kopie kruwa na wo koso nim ni nyina ka ho e no mutimi chie sankofo na ye de kodru ho a ayakayaka de ye de wo famu no sebe wankasa wo nde wo hu biem untimi nko ba bia pese wo kọ e na sebe e ba no psychological wa adwen mu no sebe o masi etu ni wa dada wo no etimi affect wo e na nipa bebre nso ye de enhye eto o mo so o mo mpe kwan no mo nso mfa nkrofo nye den emba emerem mu. Also, following a coordinated operation conducted on 16th March 2026 by Nigerian security authorities, including the Department of State Services, in collaboration with relevant Ghanaian institutions, victims arrived in Accra on 20th March 2026. Into Muchema, a 16th March, and a Nigeria Bambo Jumekuno, and a year Department of State Services, and a Ghana in Jumekua who do become Hubo Moboye, Emma, a year Safowi, Womu Etimibe Piemu Accra on the 20th of March 2026. Now, so the government of Ghana is working closely with its Nigerian counterparts and relevant stakeholders to facilitate ongoing efforts to dismantle the criminal networks involved. Steps are also being taken to ensure the protection, rehabilitation, and reintegration of the victims. Into say no Ghana by any a year Nigeria for so ejumeku a wo ne Ghana for eye adwuma no wo mo hwe kwan se eye sa enipa bonifo we wo mo hye killnet echi no wo mo ebetimi etu ase na afen so no wo mo ya wo afa mu de bia se enipa we mu a wo mo ho akọ adwa wo sa killnet for ensem no wo betimi abom ho ban na afen se wo betimi de wo afa nchechire bi mu ebeboa wo mo na yaudie ni amane wo afa mu no betimi eja ho adwendwen na mfa nsunsuanso bia emeto eye wo apomuden ene wo adwen apomuden ho eso. Also, the ministry expresses its sincere appreciation to the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for its prompt intervention and continued cooperation into Omuchima womo edda eye Nigeria by na sepa se womutimi enya ntiase na womo ekabo mu eboaye ma womo etimi edisa operation we hihye so a womo etimi age sa Ghana for aduanan e9 we. Also, government reiterates its strong condemnation of human trafficking and fraudulent recruitment practices and remains committed to safeguarding the welfare of Ghanaian nationals. Inti aban so shebo se sa eba ne se yem pekweti kwan so mpiempie nipa emfo mo nkom bia ye bia ense se wo so mo de omko a womun so bom ho modin so metimi aboga na fo nyina ho ban e de free enipa bonefo cement. So the public is advised to exercise utmost caution, verify all travel and employment opportunities through official channels, and avoid engagement with unverified individuals or entities. The ministry affirms its unwavering commitment to the protection of Ghanaian citizens, both at home and abroad, to all media houses. Anyway, every a year, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for a ho and bakwan yomufa so a emrantie eduanan enaiwe wo mu etimi eje wo mo efri Nigeria edebe piemu e wo Ghana hanum say, because looking at it, a lot of people have been victims of this QNet organizations, institution, or whatever it is, and you realize that this is not the first and this is not going to be the last. But then what measures can be Anna won't say be as the go akwemo betimi aboa, because this is becoming something I say we have I know about 2 or 3 people they've gone into this QNet a year not enough for mom.
You know, we more of personal choices, Say obiti honor plan is even Ghana had genuine travelers, they don't tell you so you too quite.
Yeah.
Or the best one to also the same thing. Before you realize na nipa no ko.
Okay.
Obehwehwe no yes we too kwan ampa we too kwan obehwem no na nye ekwan to bi na we too. Enti we is just some kind of awareness bi na wo say you create say NCC money or more can betimi apeke up. They have to create the awareness, because sometimes uti amount na airborne na obetimi ka say oh ono call the 4,000 penny call ubenya people to tell you say oh no cre ubenya manfo convince you say 4,000 you betimi dey akọ Canada 4,000 dey go Canada and that tamale cry okọ tamale now so the flights na ekọ cry 4,000 untumi friend ru bibia, but obi say for 4,000 branch wo kwa initial sika na wo dey buy no obekọ no maje no match say either say usika na nso also pay bi ka ho enti say all the 4,000 e buy ya also obi nso the 4,000 be ka ho e bi 8,000 obi the 4,000 sanjo mom hye was ni sika na wo aka bom ye say no na wo di betu kwan ti before obedu ho no na omo brainwash wa adwene ni ade enti we the only thing that can help the creation of an awareness.
Okay.
The actually obi say wo tu kwan na nye genuine one and nipa na be boa mo tu kwan we. Sometimes some of these things one gasa person tu kwan personally you can do your processes and travel on your own, and sometimes you don't need to go through even an agent in po. Obi person go school, obi person go ye juma ni ade. There are so many sites how you go, you get your documents ready, then you go, but obi amount for penema no full fast track. So the awareness creation no betimi aboa manema bi say so ate.
It's quite unfortunate say bibi say akoso, but then say the enua be mane kano. Let's create more awareness say the people will not fall victim to this QNet saga. Now yemfree way so over the weekend ye kese pa and a course so e was asante achemwa na enya asem ketwa abusia na ye ne de yen kan kire wansa na de ma ye we ebe the talk of the town no say in the NPP government there was one powerful man in it, and not just say you can't just say ntimi mbo NPP a ye be papa we edin free mo ye asante bedie too. Now for some time now we are not really seeing enough of him. Any ade ne etete so yare ni ade the condition no, it's not in Venice a good fit and all that. Over the weekend we see a mame na ye na se no na say a lot of issues are popping up about Asante Bedie too, because amafo chiremu a ne dibia anase ne tibia na wode ye ne mame ye no wo hwe na pamudin nsem na say bibi etochema wo hono ma ye tete say allegedly no a stroke na ama Asante Asante Bedie too that we know. Sabi wakabia, who are you to go and counter? Or no one pa and why you say not just say SMP. Now we have videos of a year or no one kasa during the mamie year. I could see a whole lot of conversation online. Yenshe video number na into aso.
Nano madama yamami sisi vaida. Ne papamba. Echamane sedinianom. Sedinianom 1 acre near 4,000 Ghana cedis. 4,000 Ghana cedis. And can you see kind of 14 million? 14 million. When my PSA Asante and my Eliabusiano England, I'm Islamo.
Asante bedi etu ebusia na ye kwhwe no wo ne maame eyie no ase. Now the reason why this funeral is trending is not because Asante bedi etu, yes, but because he's Asante bedi etu. For a reason no o share ne gestures, ne demeanor, ne nante ni ade a akosi a whole lot of conversation. Chris, what are people talking about Asante bedi etu?
Yes, Nana Asante bedi etu, the former executive secretary to Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor. Ono ne maame Vida Ago Asante ono na oto former na otwe wiye omo ekoye na eje ewo honom no na you know a lot of people say papa no master tia canem since the time ba say nema bi say yato no masisi ontimi nante. I mean, it was some kind of worse than this. You see akra dem say ye kakra ne sa otimi nante moving inside ne ade aka say obenya full control over the right side no.
Okay.
And a lot of people were concerned about yet how he is currently looking. Ono ankasa ne maame eyi ase akoye se nante ho akoye ne din kakra na sisi ontimi mfa ne nsa nifa ne mpo enye den enchia emfa nto obi nsaye mo ne ade. Enti that is the main reason why na no enso trendy. Then on the other side I mean ekuku dampening for former presidents ne ade omuko pie mo e wo hono mo a omo eko gracie no emane ye kama no. And also so and a lot of people were talking about this particular funeral course over the weekend that were chimchibi.
Okay, na chese busia Asante bedi etu ni current condition no ena ama for eka no asem ebi kra chemu a na hopes na doye ena ama na say because okase be obi atena wheelchair mu a whole lot of issues and people are saying say enche bia obi aboga beba ena from ho no ente hoda Asante bedi etu ye boni din during the NPP amanyuko no era. Who are you to even go and talk against Asante bedi etu? But ene yenhwe ne te bia bi che say the evil or no any sebe the NPP government wo mo edi Ghana for no and one so train and as abrade it's lingering and I won't so aye den enya ne chefa. So the conversation has been misconveyed. Ebisu cry chemu say this state said na yenua be manekan is even better than Kane no said na wotia na ontimi make public appearance. But right now no otimi make public appearance at least ne ma me ye na nye papa de but etimi efa ne sa ne nyina mu no we saw the former president Nana Fenisen John Kufuor, yes, Adu Kufuor ena afensu ye kohu Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor enso ewo hono ma omu nyina eko grace occasion with some NPP executives. Yenhwe video no embra.
Only party sorry, a crown of everybody, you
Ebusia, that is former president John Ajekum Kufuor ena yeko hu no ewo Asante bedi etu ne maame eyi ase a wono nso ekwako grace the occasion. Now there is a video of Nana Addo Dankwa Kufuor, the former president a wono nso ekopie mu ho yenhwe no so emra. Nana Adodanko Ekufu-Addo, one ne ho kani Mame Rebecca Ekufu-Addo, ene hu se wo nso ekopie mu ewo Asante Bedi etu ne Mame eye no ase. So this should tell you that this is a funeral, yen can say funeral for the elite, but is a real NPP funeral because empenimfo akuku dam ekopie mu ho. We saw the minority leader Afenyo Markins say wono nso kopie mu ho, and other prominent NPP figures na omunyina ewo eye no ase. So you could see say Asante Bedi etu really got the support he needed from the NPP to mourn and bury ne mame, and the fact that in penifo when nyina kwata ne chi no and a man for HM say he still got the backing of the NPP.
Oh yes, I mean he still got the backing of the NPP. I mean say NPP besa ban mu sisi and say or you fit to hold a position. I'm sure say they will still I mean put him on say obetimi abejoin, because you could see say almost everybody was there. Almost everybody was there. Nanado is there, J Kufo is there, minority leader is there, Brande Champo Munyina ne Kennedy Japan Munyina. At a point they boycotted Thanksgiving Pono. They were there. This should tell you say after BBA Mumpono, once you are an MPP guru, no matter what, a year we know also this tells you that Nana Asante Bedi Etu is one powerful man in the
NPP, as it has always been speculated.
Yes. I mean, said the canon. See, I mean, it is not wrong say who a young penny from penny for winning away in say.
Okay. Now, aside the fact that kasa about the Yariemu any idea no, did we see and the MPPs being there? Did any NDC member also make an appearance there?
Well, as we speak now, in Sheden who NDC Nibia so you see, there are party and there is governance. Do you understand? Say party ba ben moi. Omoka party no ho a yama position no, you could see them. And it means to confer ebimu ewo nchen a omo enshada nka party no, but then they are affiliated to ebian penimphobia mu wom, and it's maybe let's talk about their expertise in or your more positions. So later you realize that as omo can MPP home, but then you see you conform move baby na dio mobile enti so kind of difference no na wo ho enti enye me say as we speak now me share down who party ni bia from NDC our baby pim ebia ban mu. Okay, Ebusia
na chese that is it about Asante Bedi Etu ne ya ne mame ye koso over the weekend no. Now, yemfa ensem we sorry so there is a crash akoso between the Minister for Communications and Digital Technology, Sam George, and the former Minister for Communications, Mame Esela Usu. Sabria Menewo Ekasede, the back and forth ekosono very very serious and very very tight. Now, because of that, Sam George wababontin wabekasa in Sembebre. But before you betie Sam George, give us a brief summary of what is happening now. Sam George, edin same way abetuja.
Currently, this year or the abetuja say yes registration and we SIM re-registration and so you could tell say some time ago the kind of hardships among folk home. People have to leave their works to go and queue the whole day just to get their SIM registered near the at that time no ejuma no esla usu as at that time no man ejuma ye. As we speak now no cry information I was call is it NIA host say ni na anko any identity omu ne say ejuma no omo anye ni ye say on ba be for na de o tu mu nchina Emma or clash with Esla, ni spokesperson, no, and it's a the kind of irregularities a cause so with the previous SIM registration, no, SIM re-registration we are about be biasa ewo and you know the quiet crowd honoma. People feel said there was a clash between Honorable Sam George and Esla Usu spokesperson.
Okay, Ebusia Kakum ye jene kwakwa no munti ye beko na ya kwakwa tie said Honorable Sam George and Kasa wotu nenum to din same way to just say adane clash of the titans. Yenhwe Emra.
Why do we have to go through this SIM registration again? Why do you want to put us through this stress again?
First and foremost, I would say that I can appreciate the apprehension in the public, especially when you remember what we went through between 2021 and 2023. But I would start by saying that the cues you saw, the difficulties you had in 2021 to 2023 will never happen under this new registration.
It will never happen.
Never happen. It's simply going to be because this process is going to be driven by technology. It's going to be driven by the comfort of the consumer and the convenience that we can offer to the consumer. It's not going to be driven by procurement. That I must state emphatically. If you remember, in September 2021, Professor Kenatefa issued a statement, a 3-pager, effectively saying that that registration process could not be authenticated against the NIA's database. Now, let's be clear. And I've seen a 2-pager issued by my predecessor, the Honorable Esla Owusu-Ekufo, where she tries to challenge the explanation that was made by His Excellency President Mahama in Sunyani during the reset tour. Let's be very clear. She admits in her statement that there were weaknesses in the system that she developed.
Okay, yes, so that's the first point. It says the 2022-2023 SIM registration was introduced to fix the weak and unreliable 2010-2011 system by linking SIM cards to the Ghana card. The process worked in 2 phases or stages, was limited because full biometric verification could not be completed due to lack of NIA integration.
So the minister admits that there was no biometric authentication. In her own statement, this is not Sam George. So for those who say that, why do you want to do this? The minister who oversaw the process has just answered the question. Esla Owusu-Ekufo herself has admitted that the process she carried out did not carry out full biometric verification. If she herself, I mean, if the tilapia comes from the bottom of the sea to tell you that the crocodile is sick, you better believe, because they all live on the bottom of the river. So listen, what we're doing today is to cure the failings in the system that was attempted to be done. And why could there be no NIA integration? That's the question we should ask ourselves. Why did Ghanaians queue for 2 years and still we're told that there was no full biometric verification? Simply because somebody wanted to do procurement. It's about procurement.
Is that the only?
The NIA has a system that allows for you to integrate directly with them. So you use their system and you pay for their system. The minister at the time decided that she had a private company that will do the authentication. And the NIA said, we will not do that connection.
Is that what you were told?
It's not what I am told. I have inherited the ministry. That is the reason why the NCA could not. That's why the system that was run by Kelny GVG could not integrate with the NIA. It's as simple, let's call a spade a spade. Since the minister wants to come out and challenge the facts, let's put all the facts out.
That there was a company?
Kelny GVG, she contracted Kelny GVG to run the SIM registration. They put out that app that was only available on Android, and which meant that every iOS or phone could not even use the app. And there was an impasse between her and Kelny GVG on one side and the NIA led by Kenatefa on the other side. And that's why you couldn't have this integration done. So when the minister tells you that she couldn't have biometric integration done, she should have told us the reason why that couldn't have been done. Simply because somebody wanted to do procurement.
Okay. Causing financial loss.
Okay, and that's why Ghanaians were made to queue for 2 years to carry out, for want of a better phrase. And you know, we struggled, but because I believe, and I agree with her on one thing, governance is a continuum. We've looked at it. Look, the people at the NCA, and Alfred, you were at the meeting at the NCA. The NCA is the regulator. In 2021 to 2023, you were in this space. Did the NCA ever meet with the media to give you a briefing like we did last week, or this week, on Tuesday this week? No. The technocrats at the NCA have not changed. In fact, the person who we appointed as Director General was Head of Engineering, Director Engineering under Esla Owusu. They were sidestepped because they raised critical issues
about the processes that were being undertaken. The only difference you have today is you have a government that listens to the intelligence and wisdom of the technocrats there. The technocrats came to me, I asked them, why did the process fail? What were the challenges? Did you raise them? And after I saw all the responses, they came with their issues. And I said to them, this is the policy direction we will take. And I've allowed them go through the process. It's been 1 year of detailed work and collaboration. So Alfred, let's be clear. We will have, and I keep saying it's not a re-registration, it's a registration.